Good morning, good afternoon, and or good evening, dear citizens of YouTube. Today I bring you my first ever
Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links
video, so hope you can bear with me because I know I'm a pleb. Just to make things clear moving forward, by no means am I a professional at this game. I initially came back to it out of nostalgia for Yu-Gi-Oh! As I used to play the TCG for fun when I was a kid. However, the community that's coming together on the Twitch streams and in the Discord have plenty of knowledge to share about the game. From decklists to leaks, tips, and more. By all accounts, it's thanks to all of you that I've been able to make it as far as I have this day. Being 7 King of Game ranks since starting the game and placing in a regional top 500 for the KC Cup in November of 2018. So thank you all kindly. Really do appreciate the support all the while, and moving ahead. I'm going to continue playing this on stream for the community, but still branch out to other games once updates and software permits. However, I don't take Duel Links all too seriously nor competitively. It's purely out of fun for me. I was suggested to make some videos for Duel Links to try and reach out to some of you guys I may not have had the chance to meet yet. Do feel free, and you're all more than welcome to partake in the community. It's certainly helpful, and I do host plenty of tournaments in King of the Hills on stream, all varying in rules, be it meta, non-meta, changing all the time. Feel free to offer, ideas and suggestions towards that too. But could possibly learn some things about the game you may not have yet learned from the community. Or if willing, share some stuff I or the rest of us folks may have yet to still learn. Total pleb here. Nonetheless, I do appreciate each and every one of you, especially putting up with that bit of an intro. And now onto this deck list. Today, I got for you the no-skill Koa'ki Meiru OTK deck. I figure most of you guys have heard of it by now and know how it's played, but if not, or if this may be a bit different from how you've seen it played, or play it yourself, check it out. Support is appreciated either way, but hit King of Games with it this season, January 2019. Got the entire run from Legend 1 to King of Games uploaded to Twitch, not able to pop it up on YouTube due to having song requests on all the while on the ladder. And also using Slavs, which doesn't have multi-audio track recording yet. Might have to change that going forward. Feel free to check it out in the description below though for a more detailed look at how I play it. Got some example replays I've added to this video after the deck review. So as we all may know by now, Diamond Core is the key card for this deck. Having 3 copies of it would be ideal. You're able to grab it from the Revolution beginning box, and thankfully it's an SR so you can easily obtain it, and it has multiple copies in one go of the box. Same goes for the Core Reinforcement and Reckon Power, both from Revolution beginning as well, and easily obtainable. Personally, I ended up spending about 6k gems to get the 3 copies of the Diamond Core. Now, as for what it does, it basically allows you to search any Koa'ki Meiru card aside from itself and adds it to the hand. When in the grave, you can banish it to prevent your Koa'ki monsters from being destroyed by battle or card effects for that turn. Important to note that when running it with sealed tombs as I have, you want to banish the spell first before activating the sealed tombs. If you do it vice versa, you won't have the ability to banish the Diamond Core afterwards. When it comes to skills though, there's a number of ways to play it, be it sealed tombs, balance, or Cabicor bling, etc. But personally I'm living that F2P life, so definitely not ballin' enough to be able to run that Cabicor bling. However, it does seem that would be the best way to run it, which would be to have only 3 glossy or prismatic cards in your deck, all being the Diamond Core, so you're guaranteed its draw. It seems to be the most consistent way to play the deck. Moving on to Core Reinforcement. It allows you to bring back a Koa'ki monster from the grave. It's key to play this strategically or sparingly, because if you don't have the follow-up tribute, fodder, or diamond cores, if the monster you bring back by this trap is destroyed, it ends up inflicting damage to your life points equal to its attack points. So say you brought back the Maximus with a trap and you couldn't keep it on the field, when it pops back into the grave you take 3000 effect damage to your life points. Moving on to Reckon Power, which I don't play in this deck, but a suitable substitute for back row support. Allows you to reveal an Iron Core from your hand if you got one, and destroy all face down spell and trap cards on your opponent's side. Don't forget the toggle when it comes to that, before your opponent's able to potentially pop off their back row in counter. All the other core cards such as Urnite, Maximus, Sandman, Wall, and Ice, along with the Iron Core, they can all be found in a previous box, Gaia Genesis, and Urnite and Maximus are quite key for this build as well. Urnite allowing you to reveal an Iron Core from your hand to special summon another level 4 or lower Koa'ki monster. You can do that once per turn, so you usually bring out either Sandman, Wall, or Ice. Sandman for negating traps that your opponent would play, Wall for negating the spells, and when it comes to Ice, it would be ideal against decks like for higher Girgia, Silent Magician, or Silent Swords, due to being able to send a card from your hand to the grave to destroy one special summon monster on the field, including your own monsters though, don't forget that. Yeah, I've definitely popped its effect off when it was the only special summon monster on the field, but you are able to do it multiple times in a turn too, though you can always replace the Ice with more back row support instead. Just depends what type of build you feel more comfortable playing. Finally, Maximus can only be summoned by banishing an Iron Core of Koa'ki Meiru from your hand to the grave. Once per turn, during your main phase, you're able to activate its effect to destroy one card on your opponent's side of the field. However, if your opponent uses something like Kanadi on the Maximus after its effect was used that turn, and if you're able to flip the Maximus back up, you can use the effect for the second time during the same main phase. When it comes to tribute fodder for keeping your monsters on the field for this deck, the Diamond Core is best. Saves all your monsters until your next turn. Otherwise, all monsters require an Iron Core to be sent to the grave each, or also for Maximus, you can send any Koa'ki Meiru monsters to the grave. For Urnite, you could reveal a Beast Warrior monster in your hand to keep it on the field. Ice, you can reveal a continuous spell from the hand. Sandman and Wall, you can reveal any rock type monster from the hand, and they both are rocks, so they work well with one another. Now, as for the back row support, I've got 2 Canadias in the TTH, 2 copies of Corner Reinforcement. Canadia from Valiant Souls, grabbing my 3rd copy of it just recently, actually from the Dream Ticket, and Treacherous from Visions of Ice. But replacements could pretty much be anything for him, be it Widespread, Drowning Mirror Force, Zingzenhu, Enemy Controller, or like more Reckon Powers and Core Reinforcements. I have to remember that this deck is designed for OTKs, quick duels, primarily due to the monsters requiring tributes to stay on the field. Unless you have an ideal hand where you can reveal the requirement in your hand, or cycle an Iron Core from the grave to your hand each turn, you start getting into some trouble with staying in the game after about the 6th or 7th turn, if not sooner. A few quick tips before moving on to the examples of this deck being played would be the following. Number 1, pray always go second. Number 2, add 5 cards in your extra deck to have the opponent guessing initially. I didn't, but it is always a good idea for like a bluff. Number 3, depending on the duel again, if I'm going first, I tend to play it slow and set the back row. Sometimes monsters, depending on if I have like Core Reinforcement top deck, so I can make a follow-up play with bringing a monster that may have been popped the second turn. Number 4, different games require different combos, while the deck is fairly straightforward on how to play it. Depending on the game, you may want to hold off using the Diamond Core in the grave, allowing your monsters to stay on the field for the turn and not be destroyed by the opponent's monsters or effects. You may want to consider baiting the opponent's back row first. For example, sometimes you get floodgated or Canadia'd, and then the Diamond Core ends up being a waste if you had used it to begin your turn. Other times, though, the opponent could have like a treacherous trapple, and you could have wished you started with the Diamond Core. So we gotta play it by gut, or some knowledge too, if you will. And number 5, use your mom's credit card to set yourself up with the Kaiba Corp bling design. Just kidding, don't do that. But hopefully this deck list and review was of some benefit to you guys. Future videos will get right to the point now that I've got the initial spiel of my intentions towards all of this being stated. Thank you all kindly for tuning in. Up next are the few duels playing this deck, and feel free to check out the description below for that link to my cog run I made with the deck. Had a lot more spicy duels and they're worth the watch. You can also catch me live 7 AM Eastern on Twitch at twitch.tv/lzygmr, lzygmr. A link is also down below in the description, but feel free to partake in the live streams, duel rooms, and the lot. I look forward to meeting each and every one of you, and do say you came through from YouTube. If so, toots in advance.
Duel. 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 Duel.